Hello, everyone. It's Sarah from the Maple Creek Wellness Community. It's so good to be with you today. Let me ask you something. Have you ever reached for that jar of pickles on the top shelf and found it a little tougher to twist open than you remember? Or maybe after an afternoon of gardening, your legs feel a bit more tired than they used to. You know what? If you're nodding along right now, you're in wonderful company. What you might be feeling is incredibly common. It has a scientific name, sarcopenia, which is really just a fancy way of saying our bodies naturally lose a bit of muscle strength as we get older. It's not a disease. It's not your fault. It's more like our body's muscle-building engine. Just isn't as zippy as it was in our 30s. Think of it like a trusty old car that served you well. It still runs beautifully, but maybe it needs a little more attention to keep purring along. But here's the wonderful news. We can give that engine a powerful, natural tune-up. And it doesn't involve expensive gym memberships or complicated supplements. The secret is already sitting in your grocery store, probably right there in the dairy aisle, where you've walked past it dozens of times. Today, I'm going to share with you a simple, delicious food that has even more muscle-building power than eggs. Yes, you heard that right, more than eggs. And I promise you, by the end of our time together, you'll have 3 gentle strategies that can help you feel stronger and more energetic, starting as soon as tomorrow morning. Let's start with the morning, shall we? For many of us, breakfast is a creature of habit. A warm cup of tea or coffee, a slice of toast with butter or jam. It's comforting, it's easy, and it's quick. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that comfort. But from a muscle health perspective, this kind of breakfast is like sending a construction crew to build a wall, but only giving them a handful of bricks. They want to work. They're ready to work, but they just don't have the materials they need. Our muscles need a steady supply of protein, especially in the morning after a long night's fast, to repair and maintain themselves. A toast and jam breakfast is mostly carbohydrates. It gives you quick energy, which is great, but it doesn't provide the building blocks, the bricks, that your muscles are craving. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up your morning ritual, not at all. We're just going to make it work harder for you. So, how do we give our construction crew a full truckload of bricks without making a complicated meal? This is where our hero food comes in cottage cheese. I know, for some of you, cottage cheese might seem a bit old-fashioned. Maybe it reminds you of diet food from the 1980s. But I promise you, this humble food is a nutritional powerhouse that deserves a second look. Let's compare it to the gold standard of protein eggs. One large egg has about 6 grams of protein. That's good. But just 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese can pack a staggering 28 grams of protein. That's the equivalent of more than 4 eggs with fewer calories and less fat. You don't even have to eat a whole cup. Start small. Instead of butter on your toast, spread a few spoonfuls of cottage cheese, or have a small bowl on the side with a few berries. You can even mix a dollop into your morning oatmeal to make it creamier and more satisfying. It's a simple swap that transforms your breakfast from an energy-only meal to a muscle-rebuilding one. Your construction crew will thank you, and you might just find yourself feeling more satisfied and energetic all morning long. Another thing I hear often in my office is, "Sarah, I just don't have the appetite I used to. I get full so quickly." This is a very real, very common part of getting older. Our stomachs may empty a bit more slowly, and our hunger signals can change. It's perfectly natural. The challenge isn't the feeling itself, but what happens when that feeling leads us to skip meals or just nibble on crackers all day? When your appetite is smaller, every bite counts more. Think of your stomach like a small fuel tank. If you had a car with a tiny gas tank, you wouldn't fill it with low-grade fuel, would you? You'd want to fill that tank with the highest octane, most efficient fuel possible. In nutritional terms, we call this nutrient density. You want foods that give you the most bang for your buck, the most protein, vitamins, and minerals in the smallest volume. Instead of forcing yourself to eat 3 large meals, let's embrace the idea of smart snacking. This means planning for 1 or 2 small protein-packed snacks between your meals. And once again, cottage cheese is the perfect candidate. A small half-cup bowl in the mid-afternoon is light on the stomach but heavy on protein. It tides you over until dinner without making you feel stuffed. It's the perfect high-octane fuel for your small tank. Keep it simple and make it enjoyable. A few spoonfuls with sliced peaches or a sprinkle of cinnamon can feel like a little treat. For a savory kick, try it with some cherry tomatoes and a crack of black pepper. You can even blend it with a little bit of fruit and milk to make a small, easy-to-drink smoothie. The goal is to make protein easy and enjoyable, not a chore. Think of it as giving your body a gentle reminder. I'm taking care of you. I'm paying attention to what you need. Some days you might feel hungrier, some days less. That's okay. Listen to your body. But when you do eat, make those bites count. Make them work for your strength, your energy, and your independence. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about being kind to yourself while being smart about your choices. For decades, many of us were told to be wary of certain foods. Avoid red meat, it's too heavy. Be careful with dairy, it's high in fat. While these warnings came from a good place, our understanding of nutrition has evolved quite a bit. Sometimes, in trying to avoid these so-called heavy foods, we accidentally avoid the very protein our bodies need most. It's like throwing out the baby with the bathwater. If you're finding steak too tough to chew or digest, or if you're concerned about fat content, it's natural to cut back. But if you don't replace that protein with something else, your muscle-building construction crew is left without any materials to work with. This can be a fast track to feeling weaker and more fatigued. The real question isn't whether we need protein. We absolutely do. The question is, what's the gentlest, most digestible way to get it? We need an option that is both powerful in protein and light on the system. And you guessed it, cottage cheese fits the bill perfectly. You can choose low-fat or even non-fat versions if you're watching your fat intake. Its soft, creamy texture is easy on the palate and gentle on digestion. It's like having all the muscle-building power of a steak in a form that's as easy to eat as yogurt. And here's something wonderful, it's incredibly versatile. We've talked about sweet options, but it's a star in savory dishes too. Try mixing it with some chopped chives and using it as a dip for carrot and celery sticks. Or here's a great tip from my own kitchen, replace the mayonnaise in your tuna or chicken salad with cottage cheese. You get a creamy texture with a fraction of the fat and a huge boost of protein. Your sandwich becomes a powerhouse meal that doesn't weigh you down. It proves that eating for strength doesn't have to feel heavy at all. In fact, it can feel quite light and refreshing. You're not burdening your body, you're supporting it. You're not eating something difficult to digest, you're choosing something that works with your system, not against it. Sometimes the best solutions are the simplest ones. Sometimes what we need has been right there all along, just waiting for us to give it another chance. I want to tell you about a gentleman named Frank. Frank is 72, a retired carpenter with hands that have built beautiful things his whole life. He came to see me a few months ago, feeling frustrated. He told me, "Sarah, I go out to my workshop and I can't lift the same plank of oak I used to handle with ease. After an hour of puttering around, I have to sit down. I feel like I'm losing a part of myself." I could see the worry in his eyes. This wasn't just about physical strength, it was about identity, about feeling useful and capable. We talked about his eating habits. It turned out Frank was a classic tea and toast man for breakfast. And for lunch, his wife mentioned he'd often just say he wasn't hungry and skip it entirely. He was walking right into challenge number 1 and challenge number 2. I suggested he try our cottage cheese power-up. He actually laughed and said, "That stuff my mother used to eat it with canned pineapple," but Frank has always been willing to try new things. That's how he built such beautiful furniture over the years. He started small, just spreading cottage cheese on his toast instead of jam. After a week, he admitted it kept him feeling full longer. "I don't get that mid-morning slump," he said. Then we introduced the smart snacking strategy. Around 3 p.m., instead of having nothing, he'd have a small bowl of cottage cheese with a few walnuts. He found it didn't feel heavy like he'd worried about, and it stopped him from feeling completely drained by dinner time. About a month later, Frank's wife called me. She was almost whispering with excitement. She said, "Sarah, I have to tell you something. Yesterday, I bought a big bag of potting soil for my roses and left it by the car." Before I could even ask for help, Frank had picked it up and carried it to the backyard for me. He hasn't been able to do that in years. It wasn't a miracle. Frank wasn't suddenly 30 again, but he had regained a piece of his strength, his capability, and most importantly, his confidence. That's the power of giving your body the right fuel consistently, gently, day after day. So let's recap our simple plan. If you're caught in the tea and toast comfort trap, try the protein power-up by adding cottage cheese to your breakfast. If you're feeling just not hungry most of the time, use the smart snacking strategy with a small protein-rich snack. If you're worried about heavy foods but still need protein, remember cottage cheese as your light and mighty option, versatile, easy to digest, and surprisingly powerful. 3 challenges, 3 gentle solutions, 1 simple food that can make a real difference in how you feel every single day. Now, I'm not asking you to overhaul your entire life overnight. The best changes are small and steady, like a gentle stream that carves through rock over time. So here is my invitation to you: just try one thing. Maybe tomorrow morning, add 2 spoonfuls of cottage cheese to your toast. That's it. Nothing complicated, nothing overwhelming. Just see how you feel. Notice if you have a little more energy for your morning walk. Pay attention to whether you feel satisfied longer. And if you do try it, I would love it if you came back to this video and left a comment below. You don't have to use your real name if you prefer privacy. Just share your experience. Did you like it? How did you prepare it? What surprised you? Your simple story, just like Frank's, might be the one thing that inspires someone else to take that first small step for their own health. We're all in this journey together, and sometimes knowing that someone else tried something new gives us the courage to try it too. Please remember, staying strong, active, and independent as we age is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of choices, small, daily, intelligent choices that add up over time. You are the architect of your own health. You hold the blueprints, and every healthy choice you make is another strong brick in the foundation of your future. You have so much more power than you might realize. Your body has carried you through decades of life, through joys and challenges, through busy years of caring for others. Now it's time to show that faithful body some extra kindness. It's time to listen to what it needs and gently provide it. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel capable. You deserve to approach each day with energy and confidence. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Be well, stay strong, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. This is Sarah from the Maple Creek Wellness Community, signing off.